Thank you, News 19, your local election headquarters. We are hearing from the Trump campaign tonight about the contentious end to a relationship between former Huntsville area Congressman Mo Brooks and former President Donald Trump.
Investigative journalist Bob Woodward highlights the pair's fallout after the 2020 election in a new book. Brooks had supported Trump's claims about a fraudulent election, but there was a limit to that support. News 19's Kayla Smith spoke to Brooks about why the relationship fell apart and what it cost him.
I took an oath to uphold and defend the United States Constitution, and I'm not going to break my oath.
That's what former Congressman Mo Brooks says he told former President Donald Trump during a phone conversation in February of 2022. Trump was asking Brooks to rescind the election 13 months after President Biden's inauguration, and that wasn't his only request.
To reinstate Donald Trump as President of the United States, to remove Joe Biden from the White House, and then finally to call for a special election.
Brooks stood with President Trump on January 6, 2021, taking a stand against the certification of the 2020 election results. He was among Trump's most vocal supporters in Congress.
Today is the day American patriots start taking down names and kicking ass.
But Brooks says the directions Trump gave him during the 2022 phone call went too far.
I explained to Donald Trump, said, look, I'm a lawyer. I'm very familiar with federal statutes on election law and the United States Constitution on presidential election contests. And what you're asking me to do is in clear violation of the United States Constitution and federal statutes.
The call came at an awkward time. Brooks was then campaigning for the U.S. Senate, and he already had an endorsement from Trump. After saying no, Brooks says he expected Trump to retaliate. It came in March when the former president pulled his endorsement and instead threw his support behind Brooks' opponent, Katie Britt.
That probably was the last nail in the coffin to my Senate bid.
The Trump campaign doesn't deny that the phone call happened, but a spokesperson told me today that Trump had other reasons for revoking his support, saying, quote, President Trump rescinded his endorsement of Mo Brooks because Mo hired anti-Trump consultants who drove his campaign into a ditch. Ever since his embarrassing defeat, Mo Brooks has suffered from a severe case of anti-Trump derangement syndrome, and that's why he's spewing this nonsense years later. Despite the Senate race loss, Brooks says he made the right decision.
I'm also very cognizant of any number of associates of Donald Trump who have done what he instructed them to do and have served jail time as a consequence. And there was no way in the world that I was going to get anywhere near crossing that line between legal and illegal conduct.
In Huntsville, Kayla Smith, News 19.
War by Bob Woodward was released this week. Woodward recounts the struggle for the U.S. presidency, focusing on both President Biden and former President Donald Trump.